We have Kevin Carroll with us again today. This is Barbara Hannon from Common Ground, Community Manager. Kevin is with Earth Appraisal based in Tokyo, and we have the opportunity to ask a few questions today. Thanks for being here, Kevin.
My pleasure.
Let's talk a little bit about the value of having international companies talk on Common Ground or other type social networks like LinkedIn and whatnot. Are you seeing a value yourself in having the opportunity to be on Common Ground?
Absolutely, and I think Common Ground is unique in the sense that it's not truly a social network. It's a professional social network, even more so, and it's more refined than LinkedIn. For any of the listeners or viewers who are familiar with LinkedIn, it's really more of a business meeting place for people in all different forms of professional activities. Whereas Common Ground tends to be fairly specific at this point to environmental professionals in particular. It is absolutely I see it as a great platform, and certainly one that has a lot of potential for growth in the future, particularly in the international world, where a lot of countries look towards the U.S. as a bellwether of environmental regulation and technical expertise.
When we were talking earlier, you mentioned that it would be those that are not environmental specific in their job title that might benefit from the site. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I think we've spent the first year or a couple of months putting together the core group of environmental professionals who populate the site with knowledge and who truly bring the nuts and bolts of the activities and the experience to the fore. I think as the site expands its membership and moves outside the realm of environmental professionals, it will become increasingly valuable to the general working community, people in real estate, people in finance, people in other managerial positions with environmental responsibilities as a place to come for answers. And I think at that point it will truly blossom into a truly very active, interactive community, if you will.
Can you give us an update as we move through this year on, with the economic downturn that we felt so strongly in the United States, if it's identical or somewhat similar in Japan, and how you're responding to it?
It's not identical, but it's essentially similar. It's funny, a few months ago, or maybe a month or two ago, Diane Crocker and I did a podcast, and we talked a little bit about this. What we're seeing in Japan is that the market seems to be coming back a lot more quickly than it will in the United States. As we speak, there are several large Japanese construction development companies that have gone bankrupt within the past 60 days. And there's already activity in the market looking to pick up the properties and the assets of those companies at a discount. So it's sort of like the 90s all over again, but on a much more accelerated scale.
So you're seeing change over the course of a month or two. I think that conversation you had with Diane was earlier this summer, and here we are about 2 months into it. So the dramatic change is something you can see over a handful of weeks or months.
Well, I think the difference between Japan and the United States is that the property values in Japan did not fall anywhere nearly as colossally as they have here, particularly in the residential market. Condos in Japan fell off the chart, as well as just as the same as the United States with residential properties, and they're still weak. But that being said, there was an awful lot of cross-shareholding agreements between companies, and when one company fell over, the house of cards starts to topple because everyone has cross-shareholdings with each other. And it's starting to put a lot of blocks of properties on the market at one time. That can't help but discount the price.
I want to thank you, Kevin. That's what we have time for today, but we'll hopefully catch you the next time you're back in the States.
My pleasure.
Thanks
Thank
very
you.
much.